Python sockets, keep socket alive. I'm having a little trouble with sockets in Python. Whenever someone connects it works fine, but if they disconnect the server program closes. I want the server program to remain open after the client closes. I'm using a while true loop to keep the connection alive, but once the client closes the connection, the server closes its connection. Here is the client. Here is the server.
Your code is only accepting a single connection. The loop only deals with the first accepted connection and terminates as soon as it lost. This is where your server exists. What you will need to do is to accept several connections, while handling each of those in its own loop. Note that it does not have to be a real loop for each socket. You can use a select-based approach to query which of the sockets has an event associated with it, data available, connection lost, etc., and then process only those sockets, all in the same loop. You can also use a multi-threaded, multi-process approach, dealing with each client in its own thread or process. I guess you won't run into scaling issues when playing around. See this URL. This URL.
If a client closes a connection, you want it to close the socket. It seems like there's a bit of a disconnect here that I'll try to elaborate on. When you create a socket, bind, and listen, you've established an open door for others to come and make connections to you. Once a client connects to you, and you use the accept call to accept the connection and get a new socket, con, which is returned for you to interact with the client. Your original listening socket is still there and active, and you can still use it to accept more new connections. Looking at your code, you probably want to do something like this. Please note that this is just a starting point, and as others have suggested, you probably want to use select, along with forking off processes or spawning threads to service each client.
Jetzt wird der Inline